phone still had no dial tone, just an occasional sound of clicks. After over an hour of talking into this phone and receiving only telepathic answers, I allowed myself a moment of pride as I realized I was not only doing something remarkable, but I could soon be able to speak to this girl in China after all these years. That and the hope of ending my voices had kept me going. Somewhere in China a phone rings. I recognized the next telepathic voice I heard. It was one I had heard before, but the agent made no claim of recognition and begins to berate me. After some time, I was able to move up the line and begin the whole process over again of explaining who I am. But here, I was using a Russian translator, so I could not demonstrate my ability so easily. Here I could not tell them that I did not hear anything over the phone. Again, I was on the speakerphone and others were listening someplace else. As more and more agents crowd into the room, I described some of them as well. I told them about the marriage arrangement with Chairman Mao's granddaughter, but they seemed sure that could not be. I explained to them I have been listening in on their psychics in their paranormal program. They arranged some demonstration of my ability that would not also reveal my identification to the Russians, who were not only listening but translating. I promised to quit if they will connect me even briefly with this girl. I consider it to be my fiancée. I got a chance to set up an identification code with the Chinese agent I affectionately think of as Jack So. Then, when I am talking with the others, I use this exchange to show them that I know this character. Since I had been talking about the people in the room, one agent asked me what I could tell him about the man standing beside him. I could tell the man could not hear what I was saying. I said he was able to speak more languages than even he could count. I did not understand the significance of a notebook the man held in his hands, but he thought of it as being very special. He gets his answers from ancient fortune-telling and a combination of his own psychic abilities. He will not answer yes or no to the main question here, should I be allowed to talk to this girl? He always needs more time. The speaker on the phone turns to the old man and checks out what I have said, including making an effort to try and get him to recommend whether I should be allowed to talk to her. The old man counters with a question. Can I think a question to him? The speaker is surprised and passes the question on, and I agree, but remind him that he will have to think the question in English. But this will be no problem for him. The old man turns to the speaker and he says, do you speak English? And the old man says, oh yes. Well, I did not know you spoke English. He knows you better than I do. The old man thinks the question, what is your birthday? I answer and I tell him that I was born in Phoenix, Arizona. But I sense that the Russian translator uses a phonetic translation for the word of the city. That place can also be translated Phoenix. I said, this time I know it was translated with all the baggage that concept has in Chinese. Then another wanted to know, if you do not speak Chinese, how do you know what was translated? I explained, I know what you felt about the word. I don't like this, he told the others. I don't either, I told him. Eventually, the agent in charge of the psychic department of the Chinese military, for whatever reason, agrees to connect me with my promised Chinese bride. The Russian translator excitedly tells me, they're ringing her phone. I calmly answer, yeah, I know. The phone call with her was an anticlimax, but ended with me wishing her Happy New Year in Chinese, in spite of the Chinese New Year being months away. After she and I hung up, I could tell she laughed. The last voice I heard telepathically said, "We don't know anything about you." I answered, "Well, have the FBI investigate me and steal their files."